You are watching
Trinity Episcopal School Production Network. TESPN.
Welcome to this week's TESPN Podcast. We are today coming to you from the auxiliary gym, a little bit of a different location, but my colleague Hagan Andrew and I are thrilled to be joined by two of our senior softball players. We have Karsin Beatty, frequent guest of the podcast over the years. Karsin famous for her Syracuse commitment for field hockey, but in the spring she's a great softball player. And Magovern Rollins, Trinity's own Magovern Rollins, bound for Charlottesville and the University of Virginia here in a few months. But before you all head to Syracuse and UVA, you've got a softball season to try and accomplish you all's goals. And that's my first question. What are the goals for this year for softball?
This year, so definitely take it game by game. I feel like last year we would look into future games, and last year we did come up short in the LIS championship. So I would say our first goal is to definitely make it back to that game, hopefully win that game, and then see what we can do in the state tournament.
Yeah, I agree with Karsin. I mean, last year we definitely did kind of get ahead of ourselves in some moments, and so we did fall short during that game, so I'd like to get back there. And then also, hopefully making it to that next round in states. We've been third for a while. It would be nice to make it to that championship game.
What are some of y'all's strengths on the field that you just do the best out of all the whole team?
You go first.
Okay. I would say I'm pretty loud on the field. As a catcher, I feel like it's kind of my job to just like talk to my infield and outfield and like hype up my pitcher when they're working. So I think pretty much throughout the whole game you'll hear me talking after each pitch. I know it annoys like some of the other teams we play, but I think it's fun to just like communicate with the other players on the team.
Yeah, I would also say a strength that we have is energy. Almost everyone on our team is like always high-spirited, always laughing. So I feel like that plays a big role in some like intense games. So everybody's not just like freaking out. Like we got like laughter and everything going around in the dugout.
Karsin, for you as a elite field hockey player, the Metro Player of the Year, and a top 50 player in the nation. First of all, it's great that you still, play a second sport. A lot of people in your position might just specialize in one thing, but you still bring it to the softball field and as a very strong all-league player, right, in softball. What are some of the things from your field hockey experience and playing at such an elite level that you can bring to the softball diamond?
Definitely from talking about like last year to this year. Last year I had a rough time like with leadership because I would just get like too intense and like really get into my head. So like that was a big problem. But this year for field hockey, we really worked on like me like taming my like intensity and like putting more into the leadership side. So I feel like that's really helped with softball this year with leadership.
Who are some underclassmen that we should look out for this season?
Oh, well, so we have a bunch of new players on the team this year. They're all great, but I would say especially after like first game performances, Brooke Shelton, Cooper Beatty, two amazing pitchers, both very young. I mean, Cooper pitched a really great game the first game, pretty much shut down Fredericksburg Christians, their players. They didn't really get a lot of quality hits off of her. So those two, super powerful players.
And you mentioned they're both pitchers. I know historically in softball, it's kind of just one pitcher throws basically all the innings, right? But having two top quality pitchers, Magovern, how does that allow you all the maybe freedom to do some different things?
Oh, it's great. I mean, this is like the first year since I've been in the program that we have like two quality pitchers. And we were talking about a few weeks ago for most of the LIS games against those like quality teams that you're going to be playing later in the tournament. You play these teams 3 times. And so it's great just having two pitchers that you can work in so that they're not like getting used to the same pitcher each time you play them. So that'll be nice to have some variation.
And they're also both really good third basemen. Like both of them are like a brick wall. So like that adds into it as well.
And I have a dream before this spring ends and you walk across that stage and get your diploma and graduate at some point to get you, Karsin, and your little sister, 8th grader Cooper Beatty, on here together. That hasn't worked out yet schedule-wise, but I did want to ask you, what is it like for you, obviously growing up in the same household? Field hockey is your main sport, but you're also good at softball. Softball is Cooper's main sport. and now you're teammates, probably for the first and probably only time in your lives that you all will play on the same team.
Yeah.
How is that going?
It's actually like really special to me because like we just had never like we had always been close and like she just kind of looks at me to me, but like I'm also like she like laughs at me a lot. So.
Most of us do.
But yeah, it's actually really special to me getting to just like play with her, and like I also look up to her. But it's also really intimidating sometimes because yesterday I made an error and she gave me this eye and I was like, oh god.
Did she ever pitch to you? Like, can you get a hit off your sister?
Oh yeah, I actually hit one over off her.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, can you get
As a team or just personally, what are some things that you'd like to improve on this season?
You got it.
Okay. Well, I did mention we're a younger team, and so that's definitely a different dynamic than it has been. Like, I feel like we lost 4 seniors last year. It's always kind of been an older base team. So I feel like right now we're just really working to improve that, like, bond and that, connection that all the players have between one another. And so I think once we get there, things will, like, flow a lot better. I mean, we had a great first game, but I think we could work on, like, communication skills and really just, like, making sure the whole team kind of meshes.
Yeah, I think another thing is that in the past, like a lot of us have had trouble with like overthinking, like just like being kind of like the mental side of the game. So like I feel like a big thing for this year is we should like start like just like going up there relaxed and stuff.
any more?
That's it.
All right, well, let's do a couple quick questions, a little lightning round. First question, who is your funniest teammate?
Alexa Lyson.
I'd say either, like, Cooper or you.
Who is the funniest coach on the staff?
Probably Coach Hugate, but I mean, yeah, I would say Coach
Hugate.
Hugate.
Who is the player on the team that you look up to the most?
Probably my sister.
I really like Ava's mindset, like, going into
Yeah.
a game. She's never, like, one of those players that, like, gets down on herself. If she makes an error, she brushes it off. Like, I would love to have that mindset. She's great.
Yeah, and I bet probably if we ask a lot of your other teammates up here who they looked up to, I'm guessing you two would be the answer for many of the teammates as well. What's your walk-up song?
We don't have one this
All right, well, if you had
but I
walk-up
wanted
songs.
mine to be Whippin' but
I haven't really thought about it. I mean, we haven't had one since freshman year. Maybe they'll make a return.
Who is your toughest opponent?
St. Catherine's.
What's your favorite class that you've taken at Trinity?
Your class.
Which one? I've taught you several times.
I don't really know the names of them. I would just be in the class.
Clearly learned a lot.
Probably IB Art.
Finish this sentence. In 10 years, I will be...
At the beach and rich.
Hopefully rich.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. And I have to say, one thing that's really cool about having these two, Karsin I've seen since she was a little kid, her mom being the athletic trainer at Benedictine. I coached many basketball games at Benedictine, not just against the cadets, but also we were in the BCCC a lot of times. So I used to see 5, 6, 7-year-old Karsin just running around. And then Magovern, with her dad being a longtime Trinity teacher, also kind of grew up on this campus. That's why I said Trinity's own Magovern Rollins in the beginning. So having watched each of you grow up from, seeing y'all since a little kid to now seniors just a couple months from graduation, we're all just, I think I speak for all of Titan Nation, that we're very, very proud of each of you. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's going to be an incredible softball season, and best of wishes as the season progresses.
Thank you.
Thanks to Hagen. I'm Rick Hamlin. Thanks so much for everyone that watched us. We will see you next time.